Hi, I'm Dan. I'm from Straight Curve, and maybe you've met me already, but I'm here to give you a quick run through of the garden edging accessories. I'd love to make it fun and exciting, but I'm not sure that I can, but it will be short. So let's go. I'll play this little video to back me up. Now, with our ZeroFlex 75, which was previously known as the Rigid 75, there are three fixing spikes that come with a length. These are incredibly strong, so they're really good for penetrating super hard conditions. And here is a corner piece. Now you notice the corner piece has a connector plate on it. This is the same connector plate that you find on the lengths. And I just want to point out that the pop rivets that are here are put on in the factory, so they're super industrial strength. When you're in the garden, it's much easier to use Tek screws. These give great strength and they're quick and easy. The corner piece itself has a cutout in the center, which allows the bend to happen. And you'll notice, well, I'd like you to notice that it's bigger than 90 degrees. It's actually more like 120. So if someone's making their own, they need to do a nice wide cut to give themselves space to bend past the 90 and return if that's what they want to achieve. If you're going a tighter corner than that, then they might need to create an even bigger space. But that's how that would work, and obviously create a notch in the top lip, or if this is a flexible, if they're working with flex, they can just simply position the cut under one of the notches. There's no need to score this particular piece because it will bend easily, being only 75mm tall. And here it is happening for you in the next shot. Bear with. Yeah, so stop. So you see how it bent past the 90. This is the key for getting the finish of the right angle, because now you can adjust it back to exactly how you want it. All right, these pegs here are the fixing pegs that come with the 100 and 150 flex or rigid. And I just want you to notice that there's a strengthening rib through the middle, and there's also a little click-in tongue or tab at the top. So that allows it to lock into the edge without the need to screw this to the edge whatsoever. That can be a bit of an improvement on what people have been doing previously. So that may be worth pointing out. But I also want to mention that if you're working in really tough conditions, then hammering the top of this can pose a problem because it can deform and then not become something that actually clicks in. The way around that, and I've done this myself, is basically if the conditions are really tough and demanding, to shorten the peg is an option. This using an angle grinder to cut away some of the bottom, and then just enough so that you can still get penetration, but you don't have to hammer it so much as to deform the top and make it unusable. That's one tactic. There is something else we can do as well. So with the, this is something else. This is a hard surface fixing bracket, and it's called version 1 because this is what you may still have or you may have received in the past. And I think there's still some of them out there, so it's worth talking about. They have a tongue or a tab at the top, so it's the same process of lock-in. And there's I might move this on a bit. There's also, you'll notice a larger hole here that can take the fixing spikes or secured in some other manner depending on what's underneath. That would come as a 100 and a 150 high hard surface fixing bracket. I move on to the, oh yeah, this is how it locks in. Boom, just like the edge does. Beautiful. This is our new improved. It looks very basic, I know, and that's intentional, makes it a bit cheaper for us to provide and therefore for the customer. It's a jam-in process. This will actually jam into the top, and the two holes here can be fixed to the ground with the fixing spikes or on another surface, potentially with bolts. Let's play forwards because you'll see this happening next, and I can actually jam it with my hand like so, or you would use a hammer mallet to do that. And here is the heavy duty pegs. We don't tend to sell many of these, but if you were, they're hammered in on that shoulder, which means the top doesn't get deformed at all. And as you can see, they're a thick peg, so they really can handle some tough work. If I play forward a little bit more, you'll see that this is the top, which would then jam in behind the edge, just like you previously saw. So they're the heavy duty pegs. You'd still be using 3 per length, and that's an additional cost to the customer because these are non-standard, but they're available, so it's good to know. This is a corner piece for the 100 or the 150, I'm not sure at a glance, but essentially it comes with the connector plate. I will actually point out here the guide hole positioning. So we've got 2 holes up here. Now these are because this is backwards compatible to something we used to do. We've since moved the holes down to the bottom of the join plate, the connector plate. And the reason for that is to make them or to hide them better if this is sitting up a little bit. So this isn't a garden edge. Generally, it's buried mostly. But where people have used it to sit it up taller, this screw and pop rivet was visible. So the feedback was, could we put it down lower? We've done that, and we've fattened the top of the connector plate so it's stronger in the joint itself. Notice also the rib here for extra strength for the at the joint. Playing it along, and oops, I paused. Yeah, well, it didn't pause very well. I'm going to go back. Hang on, bear with. Okay, so if someone's making their own corner, this is what they need to do. They need to cut out a space, or if they're using the flex, they can widen the notch space that's already there, score a line down the back, and have 3 deeper points, score parts, and that will allow easy folding of the edge, which you will see now being done by myself. There we go. And once again, it's that classic technique. Go past the 90 degree and work it back, and you're good. Okay, the Zero Flex 100, 150 comes with the fixing spikes, but this time you get 4 per length. Same deal, super strong, great for penetrating any hard ground. Softer ground, maybe some concrete around them will be needed. By the way, they can be put at this various number of holes on one length. There's more holes than 4. So you get to choose where they go, which is an advantage sometimes when there's obstacles underneath. Moving right along, this is the corner piece for the Zero Flex. Oh, by the way, this was previously referred to as the hard line, so if that's a bit confusing to you, we have changed the name to Zero Flex to be more descriptive of how it performs. And when creating a corner, well, we sell the corner like this, but people often want to create their own. So this is really useful as a template. We can simply mimic what's being done here. So maybe sell one, and then they could cut in the rest as they go. And here we are. I'll show the fold. And at the risk of being boring, fold past the 90, pull it back, and we're done. So look, in my opinion, the corners they're obviously a good upsell for you. They also can make things almost harder. If someone's good with an angle grinder, then they don't have to think about where the corner is. They can simply see where it happens and make the corner there. So unless it's a particular job where maybe there's one corner and they're working out from that, or they simply like the idea of using these corners and they would have to cut away excess from the actual length itself. By the way, when they cut away excess from the length itself, they obviously lose the guide hole, so they have to just Tek screw through the actual edge into the joint plate. But yeah, that's a personal choice, and I think it's worth carrying some of these in stock because they're great for templates and some people just want them, so that's fair enough. Moving right along, what's next? We have the fixings you would use. It's pretty straightforward. So look, we have in the past provided pop rivets, and it's important that they use stainless steel pop rivet if doing that. Aluminium will simply corrode away super fast. It's sacrificial to the steel edging, so it will go first. And I've seen that happen, and can then result with the edging falling out of alignment because it's no longer got the hold once that deteriorates and goes away. So we can look at Tek Screws as a better option, and this is pretty much what we supply nearly 99% of the time now. These are the gold zinc, which will actually rust over on top, so they are good for blending in with weathering steel. The Dacromet ones are great for any internal fixings. So with something like the Zero Flex, where it's in the ground, just use these ones. They are the longer lasting option in those conditions. Very good. That might be almost it. I think we're done with the garden edging accessories. And here we go. Nice little summary. So I'll pause here and look at this. So as you can see, the corners, they come straight and we fold them in, and you can use them to show people how to make their own. The fixing or the fixing spikes and the fixing pegs, as you see them there, but there's also the option of a heavy duty peg or hard surface brackets. These are probably what you're going to have, but you may have some of this stock still coming through. Good. That's it. Hope that was helpful. You can also watch the raised garden beds and planters video, which I will talk through next. Bye for now.